This is Dabu7. A heads up here for these smart streetlights that are being rolled out not only in America, but around the world. And these things do a lot. They're not just the normal streetlight people are used to. These things are equipped with all types of different gadgets, and a lot of it is to track and trace people nonstop around the clock 24/7. Some of these are connected to 5G connections. Many of them have routers inside of them for Wi Fi as it is. And we've seen when these things are put up in certain areas, it affects the trees and the wildlife around it. Sometimes, which the trees die and stuff will not grow around some of these devices. And they're going to have these large scale going down highways and things of that nature. But in the inner city, where you see these, you must understand what can be on these things as we look here at how some of these work. And they can be equipped with way more than what I'm just referencing right here. It depends on how nefarious the government wants to get. But they put on top of these a barometer and a rain gauge right here. It also has an LED that can be dimmed and changed, whenever, brightened, dimmed, whenever they choose. They also have a traffic counter. So this is counting vehicles and pedestrians. Also has a security camera that's going to be on it. As you can see here, a repeater for Wi-Fi. And it's going to have an emergency notification system. If something's going down in the area, all these lights are going to be repeating the same warning or alert. You can see that there's going to be a screen on these, a digital street signal that can flash whatever. Say you're speeding, you're going too fast. It can put up the speed limit. It can do whatever they want to put up there. Then they've also got these emergency push-to-talk intercoms. In case something's going down, you're stuck on the highway, can't get out, you can hit this button, and you can get a hold of someone to try to come and help you. But these lights being rolled out in many different cities here, and in San Diego specifically, in California, there was a bunch of uproar against this as soon as they rolled it out. And the people were like, we do not want this. Well, the police there, basically they're saying that they want license plate readers to move forward now behind these smart street lights, because the street lights got stopped in 2020. Public outcry stopped it. That's why I tell you all the time, if the people rise, you can actually do some things, get some things done. Public outcry stopped it, but now since people are not looking, or at least not
Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem YAHAWASHI, Waha, Rakakwadash. In the Hebrew, that's giving all praises to the Most High Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahawashi, who is our Lord and Savior, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, along with the Holy Spirit, who taught us His truth. Honors to the brethren that's laboring doing the work to push the gospel, risking their life and freedom to do so. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, which will be the 1/3 of the true Israelites, who are the true believers of the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, Seminole Indians, who's returning back to Yahweh and Yahawashi during these final moments, so that He will have mercy on us in judgment. So we back with another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahawashi. This lesson is going to be titled, "As many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed." So we're going to start with our first scripture, then we're going to pull some of these videos back up. And He had power to give life unto the image of the beast. So what you got to understand first, the beast is Esau, the so-called white man. More specifically, NATO, the European Union, and North America. And to understand what the image of the beast is, we're going to break these words down into components. So we know who the beast is. It's a so-called white man. And the image is something that's formed by the hand. Like when you read Daniel, I believe the third chapter, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, he made a golden image of himself, a golden image, a golden statue of himself. So he, as a king, built something that represented him as a king. That golden image, golden statue represented him. So when we read this, and he, Esau the white man, had power to give life unto the image of the beast, well, the white man has built something in his image. The beast, the white man, built something in his image. So he will form something with his hands and his technology that represents who he is as a person. So this image on a small scale would be the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast. But the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, that's just a small component to the actual image of the beast. Because the actual image of the beast would be the RFID microchips, these high-tech street cameras, these 5G towers, the 5G internet, the 5G supercomputer, all of that stuff. So let's continue reading it. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, which would be the digital hardware, the infrastructure, for this digital takeover. So what it means when it says he had power to give life to the image of the beast, well, the golden image or statue of Nebuchadnezzar, it just stood there like a statue. It had no functions at all. Well, Esau's image of the beast, which would be the hardware, the infrastructure for this digital takeover, it has life. Esau had the power to bring this system to life. And what do we mean by bringing this system to life? Well, what power does Esau have? First of all, he has the power of technology. And by his technology, he brought this digital system to life, the image of the beast. Brought to life in terms of electricity. What do you say when your phone battery reaches 0%? You might say, my phone died. So if your phone does have charge, in other words, your phone will be alive. Your phone will be alive. Or your phone may still have a battery, still may have juice, it may have life. So when it says you need to have power to give life to the image of the beast, well, that life will be electricity, power that would make this system function. So again, he had power to give life into the image of the beast. So by the power of his technology, he's going to send, batteries, electricity is going to flow through all of this so that this system can actually function. And in the world of electrician, there's a phrase, a live wire, meaning that it's an active wire, meaning that it has electricity, power flowing through that wire. So approach it with caution. So in terms of electrician, something that's live or has life, meaning it has power flowing through it. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. And the next part is going to prove the point that the image of the beast should both speak. How is it speaking? Through its artificial intelligence. Yeah, because Esau is going to have 5G towers, mobile check-in stations that's going to do palm readings, scanning your digital fingerprints, doing biometric facial readings, voice analysis, RFID microchip check to make sure you chipped, to make sure you properly medicated. And when we blow this up, this is the image of the beast. This is a simplified version. You got the 5G supercomputer that's going to be owned and operated from the government that's going to store everybody's information, transaction, their vitals, identification, medical records, criminal history, employment, job, everything that needs to be known about people, their shopping history, you know, the places they're most likely to visit or travel. That's all going to be stored on this 5G supercomputer. Birth records, death records, all of that. But when we zoom in over here, you see 5G towers. And one of the many ways that people are going to be tracked and monitored is going to be fingerprint identification. Over here, we see radio frequency identification. That stands for RFID, going into the RFID microchip. So boats, phones, hey, that's why they're pushing for electric vehicles. It's all going to be microchipped. Even the people are going to be microchipped. Let's show that real quick. Any cause of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, a microchip, in their right hand and in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you won't be able to function in society, buy the things necessary for life, make any purchases, or receive money in payment unless you got this microchip. And everything that's going to have microchips is going to bing off the 5G towers. So everything and everybody is going to be connected to the grid, connected to the internet. So they can watch you on the screen, where you going, what you're doing, who you around, what you about to buy, what you spending money on. That's the image of the beast. So when we see, and he had power to give life, and he had power to give life to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak through artificial intelligence and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So again, the image of the beast, this whole digital hardware, the infrastructure, is going to have artificial intelligence. It's going to be able to speak. It's going to tell people, identify yourself through facial recognition. Identify yourself through fingerprint identification. Kind of like when you call certain businesses or corporations, you speak to a robot. Or if you're doing customer service online, it may be a robot that's typing and answering your questions. Or like when you go to an ATM, it tell you what to do. You're going to see a lot more of that. But going back to this video, let me see something. We're going to try to make this bigger. So when we consider this, that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Well, how do you worship the image of the beast? How do you bow down to this digital system? Like the people had to bow down to the golden image of Nebuchadnezzar. Well, you worship the image of the beast by becoming one with the system. Like you see the shape of this person. This person represents all the people that's going to worship the image of the beast, because they're going to give their bodies as a living sacrifice to this digital system, to this digital takeover. They're going to become one with the beast, one with the image of the beast. But again, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So those who don't worship the image of the beast, those who don't give their bodies as a living sacrifice to this digital takeover, those who do not get the RFID C-HIP, you know, is going to cause those people to be killed. How is it going to cause those people to be killed? Well, first, we got to understand that the 5G towers, everybody being microchipped, the high tech street cameras, the black light streets, the black street lights that's looking for people to make sure they've been properly medicated for that pandemic. Um, the mobile check-in stations, it's gonna be scanners everywhere that's scanning, analyzing, monitoring, and tracking people 24/7, 365, non-stop. And that's why when we look, for instance, at this street light, it got security camera, meaning it's gonna be monitoring everything that's going on in real time. And not only that, there's gonna be a Edomite at a desk somewhere in the office that's watching the footage, analyzing everything. Then over here, we see it got a vehicle and pedestrian counter. And see, Esau the devil, he could have just put person. So this thing is going to count vehicles and people that's driving, walking, passing by. What else? Then it says public Wi-Fi. So you got these high-tech smart street lights on a highway. Why does it need Wi-Fi? The Wi-Fi ain't for the public. It's for law enforcement. It's for the military police. So what? So they could communicate with this digital system. So this entire digital system is going to work against those who don't become one with the system. And that's why it says, and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So you get chipped, you know, you give the white man your fingerprints, your voice analysis, your facial biometrics. You comply with the system. This digital system is going to store all your information. So now what? You are authorized person. Well, like we saw in the other video right here, I'm gonna mute it and play it, which we see this in a lot of movies, especially in the early 2000s. Those who familiar with the Resident Evil series or more of the sci-fi kind of movies. You know, there's gonna be high-tech cameras, not just street lights, but in the grocery stores. That's gonna count the people. It's gonna do facial recognition on them. It's going to tell you how many people are in the building, how many people leaving. So what? It's keeping track of your location. And then what? They're developing technology that's going to monitor people's temperatures as they walk by. So if you show signs of a fever or any kind of illness, it's going to alert the authorities. And they're going to require you to either to quarantine or to go to a doctor to get properly medicated, which y'all should know what I mean by now. Medicated for that pandemic sickness that came a couple years back, or whatever other medication they want you to get medicated for. And let's say you show signs of illness, you show you have a fever or accelerated heart rate. Hey, but you don't quarantine. You don't get properly medicated. Well, this cybersecurity is going to alert the authorities, and they're going to come snatch you up from wherever you are. You know, and that's the point. All these people, they in the system. So they part of the image of the beast. They gave their body as a living sacrifice to the beast system. So now what? They are authorized to take part in society. They can buy and sell and travel somewhat freely because they authorized persons. Well, anybody who don't get medicated, they don't get chipped, you're not authorized to function and move freely throughout society. So let's say this was a grocery store. Hey, but you're not in the system. The system ain't got your data. You ain't been properly chipped. Well, if you in here trying to get some food and water, these high tech cameras and scanners and mobile check-in stations and these security robots, they're gonna deliver you up to the authorities. So that's why it says and calls that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So the image of the beast is not going to kill people, it's going to cause them to be killed by law enforcement, by the military police. See, the days of Esau stalking us as a people in the streets and in the grocery store are over. They built this image of the beast. They built this image in their image. So this technology is going to do all the Esau's handiwork, watching and monitoring all of us, especially us so-called colored people. And so Esau, all he got to do is let his technology work for him. And when it's time to lock somebody up or time to kill somebody, Esau gonna come finish that. So I want to jump to the book of Psalms chapter 10, verse 8. So like we say, the days of Esau stalking us is over. You know, he's not going to be there personally stalking us. It's going to be his technology that's going to be stalking us. It's going to be his technology that's going to be causing us to get put to death. So there's a picture that I want to get real quick. Let me see if I can take 10 seconds to pull that up. I'm not going to take too long. Dang, I don't see it. All right, so we're going to move on. But, yeah, I don't see it. When we get Psalms chapter 10, verse 8, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. The village represents a city. You know, Esau not going to be sitting, lurking on the back alley, on the back street, in the police car no more. He not going to be sitting at the corner in the ghetto, you know, looking for niggas to lock up. His technology is going to be doing it for him. So he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages, in the secret places doth he murder the innocent. So what's those secret places Esau going to be sitting and lurking in now? It's going to be behind a desk. It's going to be behind the camera. For all the scanners and all the cameras that's going to be placed throughout the city, checking for people, well, it's going to be Esau there monitoring all of that behind screen. Just like he monitor us now behind the screen when it comes to YouTube, giving us strikes, taking our pages down. His eyes are privily set against the poor. And who would the poor be? Well, more specifically, it would be us Israelites, but the poor in the New World Order will be everybody who's not allowed to buy or sell or function in society because they didn't give their body as a living sacrifice to this digital takeover. They didn't worship the beast. They didn't become one with the image of the beast. So again, he sitteth in the lurking places of the villages and secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. And what's the modern day eye for the so-called white man? It would be his cameras and his scanners, his mobile check-in stations, you know, counting the people, facial recognition, analyzing people's voices as they walk by, taking their palm readings, scanning their fingerprints. You know, so his eyes are still going to be set against the poor through his technology. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. The poor will be us Israelites, no economic influence, no political influence, no military might, no voice to speak for ourselves. But the poor in the New World Order is going to be everybody who don't comply with the system because we won't have anything. So he lieth in wait to catch the poor. So in his New World Order, you're going to be sitting behind the screen, letting his technology work for him. And again, it caused that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. That the image of the beast should both speak. There's going to be a ton of people. Identify yourselves. Speak so that we can analyze your voice. Place your palms on the palm readers. Scan your fingerprints. Look into the camera. Let us analyze your facial features. Scan your microchip. His technology is going to be talking to us, telling us to do these things. And then the technology is going to talk to them. Like when you see in the futuristic movies, you know, the computer talk with the people. Hey, that's already going on. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. And what's that net? That's the internet. All this stuff is going to be linked to the internet. That's why the 5G internet is the core or the center of this digital takeover. They're going to need the internet for this. Yeah, the power going to go out, but the power going to come back on. And through the internet is everybody going to be caught or delivered up to the authorities or put to death. Because everybody that's a part of the system, they're going to be part of the internet. They're going to have data and all of that in it. But it's going to be the unauthorized persons that's moving freely throughout society, throughout the cities, that's going to be caught. And while we speak, I got another video that I'm going to let play going into the smart cities. Because what we see actually right here, what we see right here is actually the setup of a smart city. This is in China. This is going to be part of Esau's digital takeover. He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. What's the strong ones? The law enforcement. So we look at these smart cities. They got barbed wire all around. You're not going to be able to enter or exit unless you do a face scan. And you see his strong ones right there. Law enforcement. My bad, that might be a city bus. But know that law enforcement, his mighty, his strong ones, are behind the screen somewhere. But behind the scenes somewhere. So that makes sense now when we see that the image of the beast should both speak. It calls that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. This digital system is going to work against us. See, you want toilet paper, you got to scan your face. You got to scan your fingerprints. And it's going to be the same thing with making purchases. And because of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and in their foreheads. You know, they're going to do away with biometrics. Because why? LGBTQ. You got people whose facial structures are being rearranged in these gender reassignment surgeries. You know, through plastic surgery, Botox. So people are modifying their bodies. So that's part of the reason they're going to switch to the RFID microchip. The RFID microchip will never fail. So that's the end game. So all this stuff is gonna work against us. But my computer getting hot. I'm gonna shut this mug down. That's it. Until next time, Shalom.